Welcome to the first of my videos I'm calling Sports Betting 101, and this one is about why you should not bet on sports. That's right, why you should not bet on sports. These videos are intended for people learning about sports betting or losing at sports betting, or maybe just interested in the topic as a whole, as many gamblers are. Gambling is growing quickly throughout the United States, and there's going to be a whole huge number of new bettors getting into sports gambling. And that's basically the target audience of this video. I've watched quite a few videos about gambling on YouTube, and I haven't watched a good one yet. And I'm sure you will not consider this one any better, but I am pretty sure I have the only one about why you should not bet on sports. On YouTube, they encourage you to niche down with your videos, and we are niching down here with this video. We're specializing on why you should not bet. And if you do know of any good videos, let me know in the comments because I'd like to watch it. So let's get into the reasons that you would not want to bet on sports. The first reason is that you're going to lose. That's about as good a reason as you'll probably find. The accepted statistics are 99% of people lose at sports betting, and that's probably a little bit conservative. So you have to ask yourself, what is going to make you any different? And of course, the reason is because I'm smarter. I'm smarter. Every gambler is in love with their own intelligence and has a big ego. That's why we get into gambling after all. But it is important to know what you are up against. So let's get into it. When I first started betting, I assumed that everyone was betting the same way I was. We were all trying to pick games and make bets off of our own analysis. And there were some guys that were good at it, and there were a lot of people that weren't. And there were some rich guys that bet sports. And some of them were pretty good and maybe even made a living on betting on sports. But everyone was basically doing the same thing, had the same approach. And all you needed to do was be able to make a good bet and you would win. And that is true. But if you make good bets, you will win no matter how you go about it. But making good bets is really hard to do because the gambling market is much more sophisticated than you might imagine. So the first thing to know about betting on sports is that people betting sports seriously are way smarter than you are. This is true no matter how smart you think you are. There are guys betting on sports full time all over the world that are smarter than you can imagine being, and they are spending all day long, every day, running computer models and adjusting statistics for strength of opponents and various other things. And they are completely obsessed with this stuff. And they are really, really smart. We're talking about guys with math PhDs, statistics PhDs, engineering degrees, guys that have worked in the tech industry and dropped out to bet sports, guys that worked on Wall Street and dropped out to bet sports, guys that are better at math and computers than you can imagine. They can program computers to scrape data off of web pages, and they can program computers to automatically make bets based off their computer models before you can bet the games. There are even guys that have computer models based off neural networks that have the computer make the model. And they don't even know what is in the model because the computer designed it. And these are the lines you have to beat. And when you're looking at the lines to bet, those are not just lines that some guy came up with. They're lines that a computer model has arrived at. And then the professional bettors have come in with their computer models and bet the games. And the numbers you're betting are about exactly right. And that's why the gambling market is considered efficient by most people who are experts on the subject, which means that basically it's impossible to win a gambling because all that is known about that game is factored into the line so that the number cannot be any better than it already is. Do you really think you're going to be able to take an idea off of YouTube and beat these lines? Are you going to be able to beat all of these incredibly smart guys at their own game? Obviously, your chances are not real good. But it is fun to try, and it is even possible. And we will discuss some of the ways you can do that in this series of videos. To win at gambling, you have to be absolutely obsessed with gambling. It has to be pretty much your only interest in life and occupy almost all of your waking thoughts because that is what you are up against. The bigger problem is you're not going to be able to just lose some money. You're going to lose a lot of money. Most people have lost at least $25,000 gambling, and that is just getting started. I know people online that have lost 250,000 betting on sports, and even a guy that has lost $1 million that drives a bus. These are people with college degrees that are smart people and have lots of success in life, but they cannot stop gambling. And if you're betting $250 per game, you're guaranteeing yourself $25,000 in losses, and that is likely just going to be the beginning. If you bet $50, you will lose $5,000 guaranteed, and then much more. The second reason to not bet on sports is that it's going to change your life. Once you start gambling on sports, you will probably never be the same person again. You start in your 20s, you may ruin your life forever. You will never watch sports in the same way again. You will always view the game through the point spread. You will experience periods of misery and rage you never experienced before as you are put through the grinder of the ups and downs of sports betting. And if you bet long enough, you're going to experience some downs you never thought possible, and those will likely be your undoing as a sports bettor over and over again. And then finally, you're going to have a good chance of becoming a gambling addict. Most people that bet on sports do it every day. They're addicted to the excitement of betting because there's not much in life that can match the excitement of betting a game and winning on a pick you made on your own. Is something that will keep you coming back more and more, and no amount of losing will stop you from it. And you'll always think you got it right, and things are going to change when you do eventually hit that big bet. Even guys that have their gambling under control will generally admit to being addicted to gambling to some degree. It takes over your life, and if you're lucky enough to be successful at it by whatever means, it will consume your life totally. It has to, because that's what it takes to win. So are you ready to bet on sports? Of course you are. Well, stay tuned to my next video for all the reasons to bet on sports. And if you enjoyed this video for any reason, please hit the like button, because it's the only way YouTube will play this video for any potential viewers in the future. And thanks for watching.